All right. If you're in the world of proxies, for scraping, automation, managing accounts, the whole IPv4 versus IPv6 question has become absolutely critical. But listen, this isn't just some tech nerd debate anymore. As we head into 2025, this is a huge strategic decision that directly hits your success and your wallet. So let's break it all down in this playbook. So here's the deal. The internet right now, it's basically a divided world. You've got the old guard, IPv4, on one side, and the new wave, IPv6, on the other. And for anyone who relies on proxies to get work done, this split creates a really high-stakes problem. And believe me, the stakes are sky high. If you pick the wrong tool for the job, you could be looking at paying way more than you should, having your jobs just fail halfway through, or worse, getting your entire operation blocked by your targets. It's a choice that really does shape everything. But hang on a second. What if looking at this as a simple either-or choice is the real mistake here? We're always told to pick one, but maybe, just maybe, the winning move is to stop playing that game altogether. And here's why this is so urgent. Check this out. By 2025, almost half of all global internet traffic is going to be flowing over IPv6. You just can't afford to ignore a pool of users that massive. But at the exact same time, more than half the internet is still chugging along on good old IPv4. And that, right there, is the heart of the dilemma. Okay, so to make the right strategic call, we've got to get the fundamentals down. Let's do a real quick breakdown of what these two protocols are, and more importantly, why any of this matters for your proxies. Think of IPv4 as like the original language of the internet. It's been around since the 80s. Its biggest strength? It's just compatible with everything. Pretty much every website, server, and old piece of hardware out there speaks IPv4 fluently. And then you've got IPv6. This is the modern update. It was built for one huge reason. We were literally running out of IPv4 addresses. The 128-bit system gives us a massive address space that's built for a future with billions and billions of new devices online. Just to put that in perspective for you, the entire IPv4 address space has about 4.3 billion unique addresses. Back in the day, that seemed like an infinite number. Today, we know it's not even close to being enough. And by contrast, IPv6 offers, wait for it, 340 undecillion addresses. That's 340 with 36 zeros after it. It's a number that kind of breaks your brain, right? It basically means we are never, ever going to run out of IPv6 addresses. Okay, foundation is set. Now let's get into the real head-to-head. We're going to compare these two proxy types across the things that actually matter for you and your work. First up, compatibility. And let's be real, IPv4 is still the king of reachability. It's the safe bet. It's going to connect almost everywhere, no questions asked. IPv6, on the other hand, well, it isn't universally accepted yet. A lot of sites, especially older ones, just won't even talk to an IPv6 request. That means you absolutely have to have a fallback plan. But when we start talking about cost and scale, whoa, the tables turn completely. IPv4 addresses are a scarce resource, and that makes them expensive. IPv6 addresses are everywhere, and so they're dramatically cheaper. This makes them the perfect engine for any large-scale operation that needs huge, constantly rotating proxy pools. So, what about getting banned? With IPv4, you're facing those traditional IP-based blocks. Plus, you can sometimes get hit with what's called a bad neighbor effect. That's when a provider crams a bunch of users behind one IP address. With IPv6's huge address pool, though, just blocking one IP is kind of pointless. So websites got smarter. They now use more sophisticated behavioral detection to spot automated traffic from IPv6. They're not just looking at where you're from, they're looking at what you're doing. So let's just pull this all together. This table really lays out the trade-offs. IPv4 gives you that universal compatibility, but it comes at a high cost. IPv6 delivers incredible scale for a super low cost, but you're dealing with mixed compatibility and a totally different kind of detection risk. You see the problem? Neither one is the perfect solution on its own. Which, of course, brings us to the big finale of this whole explainer. If neither option is perfect by itself, then what is the actual winning strategy for 2025? The answer is actually really simple, but it's powerful. You stop trying to choose. The smartest, most effective move is to combine them. You leverage the strengths of each one to cover the weaknesses of the other. This right here is the new professional standard. It's called a dual stack approach. You use IPv4 for its rock-solid reliability and compatibility, and then you bring in IPv6 as your engine for massive, super cost-effective scale. And here's what that actually looks like in the real world. For super sensitive stuff like payments and checkouts, where failure is just not an option, you stick with trusty IPv4. For high-volume things like data scraping or SEO tracking, a dual-stack approach gives you the best of both worlds. And for just enormous, mass-scale jobs like ad verification, you can go all in on that low-cost IPv6 power.
Okay, that all sounds great, right? But how do you actually put this strategy into action? Let's walk through a practical playbook that you can start using today.
Here it is, your 6-step action plan. You start by mapping your targets to see who's even friendly to IPv6. Now, the most critical technical piece here is step 3, automating a fallback. That just means if an IPv6 request fails, your system automatically tries again over IPv4. It gives you resilience. The other huge one is step 4. You have to adapt to those modern behavioral limits. It's not just about rotating IPs anymore. Go ahead and take a look over these steps. This is your playbook. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a simple way to think about all this. I want you to picture your IPv4 proxies as the anchor for your entire operation. They provide the stability, the universal compatibility that makes sure your most critical tasks always succeed. And IPv6? Well, that's the powerful engine you attach to that anchor. It gives you the raw power, the speed, and the cost efficiency to operate at a scale that would be either impossible or just way too expensive with IPv4 alone. By combining both, you build a proxy stack that is truly ready for the realities of 2025. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? Your stack might be ready for the future, but the real challenge is navigating an internet that is still trying to figure it all out.